Hey there, BrewTube, DJs here, back at you with yet another post-workout beer review. That's right, got my workout on today, put in a full 45-minute session, hitting the push-ups and everything. Why? Because I got to build my beer muscles, baby, so I can keep doing these beer reviews and I don't get a big-ass paunch on me. But anyways, what do we got tonight? We got Clown Shoes, baby. And as you've seen in some epic beer nights, me and also my mate Johnny and apparently a bunch of other people out there too love them some Clown Shoes beer. And which one do we have for you tonight? We got Clementine. Clementine's a Belgian Style Wit beer or wheat beer or Weizen beer, whatever you want to call it. And it's 6% alcohol by volume and it's 25 IBUs. And in this one they've got Belgian yeast, of course, since it's a Belgian Style Wit beer. They've got clementine essence, they got coriander, probably some other spices, plenty of malt. And I've had this once before. We didn't do a review on it. It was a hot day, and this is a hot weather or hot, I don't know, occasion sort of beer, nice and refreshing since it's a wit beer. And since I'm all lathered up for my workout, it's time to hit this bad boy. Now, Clown Shoes is at Ipswich, Massachusetts, and they brew at the Smutty Nose Brewery. So I guess they're kind of a gypsy brewer, or they contract the space, whatever. But they're making good beer, so who really cares, right? So let's get a cap popped on this one. Let's see if the bottle popper will work on our Clown Shoes. First shot pop, good stuff. Plenty of smoke coming off the top. We've got my top sort of Pilsner Weizen glass here tonight. You could use a tumbler on this one too, like maybe even for Hogarten, but I really like this one because it is a wheat beer after all, even though it's the Belgian style. So we got a big old bomber. Let's get this bad boy on the glass. Oh yeah. Also important to note, right on the side of the bottle is the date on this beer. Clown Shoes is really good about that. They're a young brewery or young brewing operation, and they're doing it right first off the bat. Bam! As you see, we have wit beer glory going on here. It's fairly clear, a little bit hazy since it is a wheat type beer. Got a nice head formed up on here. Solid 3 fingers that you expect from a wheat beer. Really tight, nice bubbles, a little rocky on the top. And it's 6.6 alcohol by volume. I don't see any at all alcohol legs on this. And the color, the color is sort of a hazy, dark sort of Pilsner beer color, almost that yellow, but it's got a bit of a darker amber nature to it. So it's like dark amber, not much orange in it, but and more on the yellow side of the scale. So, you know, all things said, I think it's a really nice looking beer. I'm sure this will have epic glass lacing too, noting by this head retention. It's not really dropping off real fast. So let's get a nose on this one. A lot of lemon. That Belgian yeast is probably actually in front of the lemon. You got some spiciness going on from that yeast also. No banana really. You can smell that orange in there from the clementine essence. If you guys don't know, clementines are those little tiny oranges, you know, that come out around the holiday season sometimes. Sort of like mandarin oranges kind of too, and kids like them a lot. I think there's a brand out there called Sweeties or something now, and I know I get them for my kids' lunches. So anyways, really nice smelling beer. This has that sort of like, man, drink me smell to it. Really refreshing smell to this beer. Let's see what the taste has got on it. Wow, right up front, it's spicy with that lemon taste, and the aftertaste is that clementine sort of orange essence. Very, very smooth beer. This beer at 6%, you could chug this bad boy. And 6% for me is sort of like 6 to 6 point, maybe even 6.5% nowadays is my session beer sort of limit. But I like to go really in, for practical purposes, 6% and down for session beers. And I could session the heck out of this bad boy. For a fairly low ABV for craft beer, I think it's got a lot of flavor in it. I've had better wit beers. This isn't bad. Let me get another taste of this. Wow, this one's really cold. You know what? I think usually I don't with wit beers, but I'm gonna let this one warm up a little bit because it's quite cold. I had noticed I had my refrigerator set pretty high, and I think this bad boy is about like 39, like 38 to 40 degrees right now. Let this warm a little bit, and I'll be right back, guys, and we'll give a final grade. Hey there, BrewTube, I'm back. Well, look, in the bottom of this bottle was treasure. Why? Well, for me, I like to swirl that settlement a little bit and put it into the beer. And if you look at it now, that's cloudy as hell. It's like an unfiltered beer. All that yeast that was in the bottom and sediment, and there was a ton of flavor in that, and it really changed this beer. I drank it down to about here. We got this big bomber. Man, I mean, there was a real heavy amount of sediment in this beer. And there was a lot of that orange and a lot of that coriander flavor and spiciness from that yeast in that sediment when we poured it in. And as it warmed up, also as flavor developed. And once you put that yeast in there and did a bit of a swirl, it took what was a fairly watery beer to medium thin. Yeah, wit beers are, and really Hefeweizens and all that, are fairly thin beers anyway, because they're meant to be drank and as a refresher. You know, not maybe, you're not sitting there and chewing through a stout when you're having a wit beer. That's not your expectation. If it is, you got to check yourself, guys. Anyways, solid beer, really solid, definitely above average. And what do the other guys think? Rate Beer's giving this an 86, and Beer Advocate's giving it 87. That's that B+ range. And in the past, when I had it before, I looked through my notes while I was drinking down on this and going in the background. I gave it a B. At that time, you know what? I know I didn't swirl the sediment, and Johnny and I shared this one. Man, we poured it fast, pounded it, and went to the next beer. Of course, why not? Anyways, I'm going to give this beer the B+ also. It's probably, I think on my scale, I'm going to give it an 88. Definite solid B+. And one of the reasons is, even though it's a young brewery, right here it says bottled on 8/2012. Right on the side. Printed on the label. And you know what? If a small brewery can do that, guess what, bigger breweries? You can do it too. There's no cryptic code in that. I don't have to decipher it. It's straight up and easy to know. But anyways, guys, I give it a B+. The other guys are about in that range too. Don't always agree with them, as you know, but for this beer, I really do. I would definitely drink this again. I recommend it to you. Give it a try. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a really refreshing beer. In the summer, if you're out on the deck doing a bit of the barbecue, if you just cut some grass, I mean, this would be like heaven coming in from cutting the grass, especially if it's really hot or something, doing some yard work or things outside. Man, really low bitterness, only about like that 15 to 25 range on this one. It's a sessionable beer. Big Bomber, take care of you and make you happy. So anyways, guys, I'm flapping my gums too long here, and remember what we got to do. We got to think globally, we got to drink locally, and we got to support those craft brewers so we keep getting more beers like this one. And as always, till the next time, guys, that's a big peace out.